Kevin, it's been a hugely disappointing afternoon, a 2-0 defeat by Needham Market this afternoon. First half performance, certainly, that I imagine must have had you tearing your hair out at times. Bit of an improvement in the second half, but at 2-0 down, given the opposition too much to hold on to, haven't you?
Yeah, definitely. You have to admire the strike for the first goal. I think we can do better in that moment and, be a little bit tighter. But it's a good strike from where it is, and it's a fantastic goal to for Needham to take the lead so early on. But certainly some of the effort levels, which really pains me to have to say that in the first half from a lot of our strikers that didn't work hard enough and didn't recognise moments. And like I say, when there's a lack of effort out there, that's a problem, and that's my fault. The one thing I think as a player that you can do is you can run around and you can make things happen, and you can be brave and you can be bold and you can stick your head in, you can compete, and there was too much of a lack of that in the first half. It did improve in the second period, but fair play to Needham. At 2-0, they made life really difficult for us. They're hard to break down. They've only lost once this season, and again, our naivety and certainly a lack of desire in certain quarters, it does concern me, and that's my fault that I've allowed those players to come in and have to feature so prominently. But yeah, I need to address that, and need to try and do something about it.
Sure. I mean, I suppose that is a point worth making. You mentioned about Needham Market. I think their only loss this season was the first day of the season. They went away, won 6-1 at Colville. So perhaps a better side than maybe people gave them credit for, but that doesn't excuse what you saw in terms of
it doesn't.
The lack of effort.
Yeah, when that's on show, like I say, it is a concern, and there's no reason not to run around and like I say, work really hard for yourself and for the team and for the people that are supporting us there. Such a fantastic crowd, and to play so poorly from an attacking point of view today was really disappointing. I've spoken to the lads in there, and I can't blame anybody else. That's my decision to bring those players in, and my responsibility to try and do something about it. That's where it sits. Clearly, as I've said prior to the St Ives game, without Fraser and without Nathan, Ty as well, having those players around the group that are going to demand out of their teammates, they're a big loss. And we will, I'm sure, get better for their return, and hopefully that isn't too far away. But certainly now, I'm just disappointed to put on such a poor display in front of such a fantastic crowd. All those youngsters watching there, and the one thing that you need to do is you need to run around and you need to show some fight and effort and desire. And there's not many times in my managerial career that I can turn around and say that any of my teams have not given me enough of that. But unfortunately today, I have to hold my hands up and say that's the case.
Sure. I suspect from what I can tell from you here that you seem as though you're in the mood to act on that these aren't empty words, that something's got to change.
Yeah, I need to change it. Like I say, there's some of those players just aren't able to deal with what we expect at Telford. Such a strong following, and as I say, there's none of the players can have any excuse. The crowd stay behind them and continue to cheer them, and those guys behind the goal were absolutely fantastic. And the people that want to vent a little bit, I understand that and get that, and they'd be perfectly within their rights to do that and show their disgruntlement. And I have to take responsibility for that. Nobody else. As I've said to the lads, I brought them to the club, and they need to step up and like I say, at least show an effort level and a desire and a strong body language. When you do face opposition like we face today, that can score goals like they have, and you can find yourself in that situation, and being able to deal with it, it's tough for some of those lads, young and old, making no excuse. I've invested a lot of into some young boys there that they will improve, but I understand the expectation is to be right at the forefront of it now, and as I say, that is my responsibility.
Sure. I guess, you were looking for a reaction in the second half today. You got a bit of one. You will be looking for a reaction on Tuesday night at Stourbridge, because there really isn't any other option, is there? No,
not at all. Like I say, and I think if I can deal with players making mistakes and those bits and pieces. I really struggle when I feel there's a lack of effort and a lack of desire to to really put your body on the line there and you know, string yourself out and go through those difficult periods and phases. And yeah, that's when I struggle. And like it's been a long and difficult afternoon for everybody today. And as I say, I'm not trying to make any excuses. That's what I'm here to do something about. That's what I've been asked to come in and do something about. And at the moment, you know, it's not happening. Yes, a couple of players back will make a difference, and we will be in a better place personnel-wise. There's no doubt about that. But every game needs winning, and you know, when you've had, you know, the poor run that we've been on just recently, I can't. There's no point in me trying to sugarcoat it. It's my responsibility, nobody else's. So yeah, you know, hopefully I can manoeuvre things around and change things slightly. Certainly after Tuesday, it will unfold a little bit, and you know, I'll almost certainly, unless there is any major hiccup, know that we'll have a few back. Ty comes back in for Tuesday, and again, like, you know, whether I can change things around and you know, it's right for players to go and seek their future elsewhere, might be the case. I'm under, you know, no illusion of what the expectation here, and rightly so. It's a fantastic stadium, we have a fantastic support base, and they expect a lot better and deserve a lot better than that today.
Sure. Just to close, I know you've spoken about potential signings and looking into the loan market. I can only imagine that a result like today might hasten your need to do something in that respect.
Yeah, you know, I've said for a little while that we need to change things around, and you know, needing to get through the St Ives and Mickleover game, I'd hope that we'd have certainly players back before today's game, and obviously before Tuesday. That hasn't obviously been the case, and it's a little bit where you're mindful with, you know, what money there is to spend. You know, I need to manoeuvre things around to bring people in and to change things and to try to find some more consistent players. That's what I need to do, and yeah, that's what I need to do. And if it means one or two that might have to move on, that might have to be the case.
Kevin, we appreciate your time and your honesty. Thanks very much.
Thank you.